Hi. We have been learning HTML through illustrations and real-world examples that you can relate with. So now I want to do the same with the DOM. Then I'll begin by creating a scenario that is pictorial in your mind so that you can picture and understand what we're doing. So we said that in HTML, almost everything is a container, right? So think of them as the containers in your home. So there's HTML, then there's the heading, there's a title, there's a body, and there's every other thing. So those things are containers. But then at home you have a mischievous baby. So they are able to open one container, open another, take something from the container, replace it with something else. So let's say you have sugar, and then the kid takes sugar, and then they replace with something that soil that looks almost similar to the sugar. So that is the mischievous baby, and that is DOM manipulation. So by the end of this lesson, what you're going to learn is you'll be able to change what is in a container. So that could be the text inside, could be the image, or add something to a container. So that is generally what you're going to be learning. So in another picture, a web page or the way HTML is rendered is it's created in a sort of a tree. So you can access a tree, a part of a tree from one angle. So let's say you can say in this tree you just want to reach the leaf, you just want to get the branch, you just want to get the root. So everything is placed in a tree-like structure, and that's something we're going to see throughout the lesson. So stick around and get to understand what is happening. Cheers, guys.
With all of that explanation, let us do our first example. Then we'll also do a recap of most of the things that we have learned. So we say doing this inside VS Code gives you a boilerplate of HTML, and then we said the easiest way to write JavaScript inside of HTML is just by using the script tag. So we'll just create a heading and a button just to show you what is happening. So we said h1 is a heading 1. So I will show you another trick inside Visual Studio Code to do this. So if I say h1 hash heading and then I say enter, it will just create a h1 with a ID and an ID heading. So let's just say this is heading. Then we also want to create a button. So if I say btn hash btn, so what happens is it creates a button with an ID button. Then let's just say this button should say click me. So when we go over to where this page is and I refresh, it says heading, and then this is the button that just says click me. So this is all that we need and all that we want. So now inside JavaScript, I said that an ID is a selector. So now I want us to select this heading. So how do we do that? We create a variable. And then you realize that this variable is not var or let. The only difference is when I say a const is a variable that is read only. So we want to create a variable that is read only because we don't need to change the variable or the value inside the variable. So let's say we want to access the heading. This can be called anything, but I choose to call it heading because it resonates better. So I say heading, then I say document dot get element by ID, which is we want to access an item by ID, then the name that is inside the ID. So that is the heading. Copy it and I paste it there. So now we have accessed the heading. So nothing is still happening yet. Now we want to access the button. So by saying this document dot get element by ID, then the ID is btn. So now I have accessed both our button and our ID, and we have just said document dot get element by ID, which is ID heading and ID button. Now we want to manipulate the DOM, which is the main topic of what we're doing today. So we do that by getting this variable, that is the button, Then we can add an event listener. So an event listener is saying if something of a particular type happens, then let's do something else. So let's say button dot add event listener. These things are case sensitive, so you just have to use them as they are. I will share a link at the end of the topic, just in the YouTube video, where there is other access types for the DOM. So there's get element by ID, there's get element by class. You can do so many other things, but this is the basics of what you will be using in the next steps or classes to come. So button dot add event listener. Then what we want to listen to is a click event. So when somebody clicks this button, we want something else to happen. Then you said you guys are brilliant guys and you have worked with other frameworks or other languages, so you know what a function is. Now I want to create a self-calling function. So I can choose to write a function and then write the function name and then do things, but there's an easier way of doing that by saying this. So this is a self-calling function. Then in the self-calling function, what I want to do is I want to change what is inside the container h1. So I just come and say heading dot inner text. You see there is inner HTML, inner text. There's so many other things that you can do. Then I can say is you clicked me. Don't worry about the typos. Let's just see what happens. So we go over to this page, refresh it. When you click, you say you clicked me. Yeah, so that's one way of accessing and manipulating the DOM. So let's see what is happening in the browser behind all of these things. So we can just start by doing, sorry about that, console log, let's say documents. So we see what the browser sees or understands. So we said when you right click on the browser and you click on inspect and then console, you see something is printed here that says document. Let me enlarge this. So inside document, you see the HTML that we have on the page. So there is the heading, the title, then the body. It is just what we have inside our HTML. Then something else you can also do is you can say console directory document to see everything that is inside of it. So if I actually refresh and open this, we see our URL, active element, active transition, and then when you scroll down here, you'll start seeing something like our title. Where is the title? Here it is. So everything is created in a tree structure. The way we said in a real world example, we have a tree that we can access using a branch. So when you say document, it's like saying tree.branch. So now we are saying tree document dot title, like we're getting the element by ID, that is the title or something. So yes, that is how the browser understands your HTML code. It puts it in a document like structure, in a tree like structure, so that you can use it and manipulate it. So that's what we say manipulating the DOM. I hope by that we are able to understand the basics of the DOM. Thank you for sticking around. If you got to this point, it means you enjoyed the content. Feel free to comment and say what you liked or what you didn't to help me create content that resonates better and helps you understand concepts easier. So we'll move forward from this. We will not use DOM all through. It's one of the basics that you need to understand in HTML. But we'll move forward soon enough. We'll be diving into library that is called React that will actually help you in the job market and reduce this kind of hassle. So cheers and on to the next.